It is 6:06 this morning in February, just days before the release of her book, Mostly What God Does. I spoke with Today anchor Savannah Guthrie. The network broadcasts out of New York, so we talked remotely. But yesterday on day 3 of the convention, I was able to sit down with Savannah in person. She has been here covering it all. We talked about what has transpired, I guess, so far, the upcoming Paris Olympics, and we also talk about her personal life. Let's take a listen to part of that interview. All right, Savannah, so let's talk about the feeling of this convention here. You have covered your fair share. What has the feeling been like? Of course, this kind of differs from ones that you have had before, but how does it differ exactly?
Well, I think for one thing, it's given what happened on Saturday night in Pennsylvania. I mean, I've covered a lot of conventions. I haven't covered one directly following a presidential assassination attempt. I mean, it's just, I think all of us didn't know exactly what to expect in terms of the tone. Would it be somber? Would it be angry? Or would it be the typical party atmosphere that political conventions usually are? And I think we've seen strands of all of that, but largely it has been a pretty joyous occasion. On Monday night, when former President Trump walked out and people saw the bandage on his ear, and that was the first time he had been seen in public since the attempt on his life. You know, it was a very emotional moment. So I think the delegates seem to be in a happy mood, and you know, business is proceeding as normal.
Yeah, speaking of that and the feeling, we heard a lot of unity, right? We heard from former rivals. We have Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis. Unity seems to be what they are focused on. I know you had a chance to speak with Trump's son, Eric, and he talked about his dad ripping up his speech. Do you think that will be his big focus in his speech for this week?
Well, it's interesting. We did have a night at the RNC that was all about unity within the Republican Party. Former rivals like Nikki Haley coming, Ron DeSantis, and the president is said to love a loyal supporter, but even more love a converted loyal supporter. So that's what he had there. There's also unity of the country after the disturbing events of the weekend, and that's something that former President Trump has talked about, saying he had written a speech for Thursday night, his big night, that is totally different than what we're going to actually hear, that he recognizes that this is a moment in time. And he has said he wants to unify the country. So we'll see if he does that in the speech, and what happens as this campaign goes on.
It should be an emotional night. And coming up in our next half hour, we'll hear more from Savannah and even her thoughts on Milwaukee.
She get some cheese?
She's waiting for those cheese curds. We'll talk about it coming up.